Hi everyone, so this next voice sequence is a little bit more energetic than the release and relax one. This is connecting and energising. So you'll recognise some of these exercises from our warm-ups in class. Again, this is something you can revisit, and it's the kind of warm-up that you might want to do to get you ready for vocal work in your project groups. First thing we're going to do is just some gentle rubbing over the body, just to really wake up all of those nerve endings, proprioceptors that tell us where our body is in space. So all over the body, not forgetting soles of the feet, tops of the feet, everywhere, starting to move that rubbing into gentle patting. Raindrops on the head. We're going to leave the face because we're not supposed to be touching our faces at the moment, are we? Because of Corona. So tapping. Good. The more responsive our bodies can be and the more awake and alive they can be, the better, the more efficient our voice will be and the more full and free our voice will be. I'm going to move that tapping into some gentle squeezing and shaking. So shaking some flesh here, shaking, grabbing, massaging slightly. Good. Don't forget your arms. Wonderful. And as a lovely reward, you can finish just by giving your neck a nice rub, a little knead into your shoulders, where you feel you need it. Need it where you need it. It's my little pun for the day. Good. Okay. So we're just going to stand loosely centred, finding your neutral, knees unlocked, arms loose. We're just going to rotate our arms, our elbows to the front, and imagine those balloons on each of your elbows, just pulling, 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 pulling them up so you have a level of tension in the upper arms, no tension in the lower arms or hands, let those flop, but you're starting also to get a bit of tension in the body, in the legs, and some extension. More balloons now on your wrists are floating, 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 floating. Just move so you can see my hands. So hands still floppy, but the rest of your arms and the rest of your torso here are starting to feel that tension all the way down into your legs. 10 tiny balloons now onto your fingers, floating them up, floating them up, floating them up. So really getting an extension there. And the amount of pull is nearly enough to lift you up onto your toes, but not quite. So you're really in that space between lifting up onto your toes or staying on your heels, your full foot, your tripod. So feel that tension, get used to it. You could have a little stretch up each side, each side just becoming slightly more powerful with that pull. And then we're going to have some lovely small, medium and large sighs of relief, pleasurable relief, as we release down. So just to the wrists first, small sigh, and then to the elbows, and then to the shoulders. Lovely, we're going to do that one more time, and we can voice those sighs, so using some vibrations. So rotating elbows, lifting with those balloons, lifting, 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 lifting. Good, and then lifting to the wrists, lifting, 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 and then to the fingers. Feel that tension. This time you can bring your voice into your sigh, so little sigh, medium sigh, giant sigh of relief. Good. Swing those arms a little bit, and you can keep voicing while you do that. And just let them come to stillness. Great. The weight of your head now is just going to start to pull you down gently, vertebra by vertebra, down and down and down. Feeling heavy, feeling an uncoiling of your vertebra, going down till you are hanging easily down, folded over. Your knees do not need to be straight. You can have a bent knee. Your tailbone is up, and you are just folded as much as you can be. So just hang there. Just hang down at the bottom there, loosen your shoulders up a little bit, and just have another sigh. Maybe a little bounce and a sigh. And maybe a little swing and a sigh. Good. Reach one hand back to your sacrum. Give it a little bit of a rub, bit of a tap, waking up that area of your body. Point that elbow up to the ceiling, turn, and just open up in that chest. Great. Other side. Other hand goes back to the sacrum. Little tap, little rub. Point that elbow. Turn. And open up in that side. Great. Hang down again. You can have another sigh. And I'm going to face the front so you can see me. Come down into a low squat. If you can have your feet flat on the floor, that's great. If you can't, don't worry. If I move back a bit, you might be able to see. So we're squatting down and we are opening the hips, pushing out with our elbows, just opening up in the hips. Hugely underestimated the value of opening the hips for voice work. So we just want to make a nice open channel for everything to be released. While we're down here, we're going to have a bit of a hum as well, so we can warm up the voice while we're warming the body up. So just pick an easy note. New breath, new note. One more, new breath, new pitch. Good. Little tip for when you hum, make sure your lips aren't too squished together because that will dampen the vibrations. You really want those vibrations to go directly from your pelvis area up directly to your lips, and then out. You should get that tingly feeling. Okay, from that squat, sorry I kept you there for a while, you're going to come onto one knee, and you're just going to do that grounding sequence that we've done before. You can keep humming, but this time you're going to vary your pitch, so you can just hum a little range while you're squeezing down your leg and rubbing out towards your feet, rubbing out from your feet. the thing that we've done before in class. And then you're just going to hum. So, you can do some slides if you want to, some sirens. Other side. So you're putting a bit of weight on each foot as well, just to increase that groundedness and that connection with the floor. Okay, and then you come back into that squat, straight back up into the hang. Have a little hum while you're down there. And you're going to begin to build that spine back up again. So from all the way down there. Hum on the way up as well. Vertebra by vertebra. You're just unrolling. Head is the last thing that comes up. And just floats on top of your neck. Okay, so we're going to start to release some of these vibrations now. We're going to bounce and we're going to loosen our jaws and we're just going to release some sounds. So just as we bounce, make yourself as floppy as you can, knees, elbows, and we're just going to be the sound and the pitch that comes out should really just be a natural, easy pitch. You don't need to place it or think about how high or how low it is. It's just a natural sound that's coming out. Good, loosening us up in the body as well. You can do a bit of a shake around here. Good, we're now going to extend those sounds to a longer sound. So focus on a point in front of you, maybe slightly above your eye line, and you're just going to give it a same point again, but you can vary the pitch if you like. One more time. Good. You're now going to imagine your diaphragm. So that lovely sheet, flexible sheet that helps you, supports you in your breath and your voice. You're going to imagine that either as physiologically, accurately, anatomically correctly as you want to, or as a colourful parachute or trampoline. You're going to imagine the sound bouncing on that trampoline and then coming out of your mouth. So this is an exercise that helps to engage the support muscles, but we use some sound as well. So ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, little pants, and then one coming out, ha 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 ha, and again, ha 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 ha. Have your hands here so you can feel those support muscles starting to work and help you. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. going to go back to those solid notes, pointing them and directing them to somewhere in the room, but we're going to shake them out as we do them. So it will be a ma. Off you go. And the next time we'll do our knees. And the next time we're going to shake every damn thing. Okay, so great. We're going to visit some different resonators in the body now to get all parts of our voice warmed up. So you'll remember some of these. We're going to go down for zoo, zoo. Really getting that open voice. You can count in it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, zoo. This is taken from Christine Linklater's resonance ladder, slightly adapted, but that's where the exercise comes from. Zoo. Then we move up. Whoa! Whoa! And what's the one we do for this? How you doing? Whoa! Move up to sure. Sure. Go. 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 And we do oi. 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 Now moving up to, transitioning up to the more upper resonators. But we've got the heart. Ma. 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 Try speaking from that place. What a beautiful day. There's so little weight in this voice. Ma, but it's open. Then we're moving up. Fa. 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 Ha. Ha. Ba. 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 De. 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 Pay. Pay. See what it's like to talk in that voice for a bit. Pay. Oh. Oh no. Pay. Key. Key. A nice light head resonance. Key. Key, key. And then really strong head resonance. Ree! Ree! If you can't tongue trill, then you can just do a yay! Yay! Great. Okay, so we'll go back down. Ree! Key. Pay. De. Ba. Ha. Fa. Ma. Go. Sure. Whoa. Zoo. Wonderful. We're going to do some articulator warm-ups. I am mindful that we're not supposed to be touching our faces at the moment, so I've adapted this slightly. I'm going to try to loosen the jaw. Excuse me. And again. And if you just touch with the heels of your hands, just your temples, that's as close to the face as we're going to get, just the temples, and just give them a little rub. And while you're doing that, just think of your jaw dropping further and further down. Just releasing, releasing, releasing. Good, now you've got that lovely open floppy jaw. Let's have a couple of little yawns. And maybe we can warm the lips up from this really floppy place as well. Putting a bit more useful tension back into it now. Let's have a brighter sound. Now let's have some and some moving back. Quickly as you can. Good, let's voice those. B, 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 b. D, 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 d. G, 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 g. B, d, g. B, d, g. B, d, g. B, d, g, d, b, d, g, d, b, d, g, d, b, d, g, d. Have a go at that. Bada-gada, 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 bada-gada. As quickly as you can. Bada-gada, 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 bada-gada. Bada-gada, 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 bada-gada. And then we're going to visit some E and some ooh. We're going to move between the two. First, we're going to do it off voice, so no vibrations here. Good, now add some voice. Now on voice, just on a spoken voice tone. Slow it right down. Then we're going to go for whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. So we'll start whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Let's try the whole thing. Whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Good. Let's have a go at Betty Botter bought some butter. I'll say it one more time. Betty Botter bought some butter. You say it. But she said this butter's bitter. If I add it to my batter, it will make my batter bitter. So she bought some better butter and she put it in her batter and it made her batter better. Okay, let's do the whole thing. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I add it to my batter, it will make my batter bitter. So she bought some better butter and she put it in her batter and it made her batter better. Great. Okay, we are warmed up in body, we have warmed up our support. This short-ish warm-up should get you to a place where you can usefully be using your voice in your project work. You're welcome to come back and revisit it. You're welcome to ask me any questions about it or contact me via Moodle about it. More specific exercises relating to your productions will be coming. In the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and stay using your voice.